Hi everyone, my name is Charmaine and I'm the dietitian that helps people reverse type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. And today we have Bayleigh here. She is such a sweet client of mine. I love her so much. And you can say hi to everyone, Bayleigh.
Hello.
Awesome. So, why don't you start, Bailey, on how you found me, what made you reach out to me, and if you don't mind sharing a little bit of your background, and how you came to start working with me.
Yeah. Um, well, I came across you on social media, either TikTok or Instagram. I know I like once I found you, I kind of started looking to through all of your stuff because it piqued my interest. Diabetes runs in my family, and I had been recently diagnosed with insulin resistance, and the timing was just really good that I ran across all of
Hmm.
your platforms. So that's initially why I ended up reaching out to you.
Amazing, amazing. And what made you, push the button to, change your lifestyle? Because I know it's a lot of changes, and I know in the beginning, it was kind of intimidating, to make those changes. But what was your why? Like, what motivated you to make the change?
I felt very much like I was out of options. I had recently met with another medical professional who wasn't able to offer me much in terms of advice or help. And seeing that what you seeing all of your content and everything online, it really seemed like you understood um, more of on a more real level than a lot of people do. And for me, it was important that I have somebody that I could communicate with and be open with. Um, and I felt that very immediately with you, so I felt very comfortable reaching out to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm super glad that we got connected. And, Galia, who's our program coach as well, she
Mhm.
also loves Bailey. And we also, always talk about Bailey because she's just so amazing. And what would you say, how has your journey has been? So it's really great that you're like, okay, like I don't have any options, so this
Mhm.
makes sense to me, this aligns to me, so let me go ahead. And how has the journey been for you in terms of reversing insulin resistance?
I have been surprised with the amount of change I've seen in my body, just in terms of the way that I feel.
Mhm.
And of course, like everything balancing out also. But I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. It was really difficult in the beginning,
Mhm.
but there came a point partway through. It was a little more than halfway through. I was telling Galia, I was like, "Am I doing something wrong? Because I'm not really struggling and I'm feeling good." And any other lifestyle change or diet that I've tried in the past, at some point, it's just you feel the struggle and it's
Mhm.
difficult. And with this, I didn't.
Mhm.
Once
That's
she
amazing.
she said to me something that really helped was, it's really difficult in the beginning, but once it clicks and it's there for good. And she was
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And what do you mean by you just feel so comfortable? I know you mentioned to me it almost feels weird to you that you just feel so good, you feel comfortable, you see results, and that feeling is foreign. Do you mind expanding a little bit on that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of different diets and everything in the past. Since I was probably 11 years old. I'm 23 now. And at some point, it's always either counting calories and, oh, I'm hungry, but I can't eat that. Um, or, oh, I can't have rice. I can't have certain items. Oh, this diet says I can't have fruit. And with the way that you've gone over everything in terms of how to structure, what to look for in terms of uh, well, if you're not staying full, have more fiber. If you need to eat more food. Um, eat your fruit between it. I never really ran into the situations where it was like, I'm starving at the end of the day. I can't eat anything. What am I going to do?
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't have to eat salads 3 meals a day, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful in terms of how flexible everything is, because it's just a different way of thinking and a different way of being creative for making things work for you,
Yeah, I love
if
that.
that
I
makes
love that.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. And as you're saying that you feel like, okay, like these meals actually satisfy you. You don't just have to eat salads, right?
Yeah.
And what would you say? And I know your lifestyle eating is very different from your family, right? Like
Okay.
I know you always tell me your family's so curious what you do. So how do you deal with those situations where your lifestyle is so different from your partner, your family?
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about that?
It's I'm not going to say that it's easy all the time, because sometimes it's not, but once they see how serious you are about it, for one, it makes them curious to try a little bit of what you're doing. And if you're all bringing a dish to the table type of thing, then they're going to try yours. But it, you just have to kind of prepare and think about alternative things, or kind of count it as one of your flex meals if necessary. It just kind of depends on the situation, but for the most part, um, after a prolonged amount of time, everybody gets relatively supportive, where in the beginning they're a little bit like, oh, how come you aren't eating meat? I don't think you're
Mhm.
getting enough protein.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's almost like it's almost like they're on the same page with you, right? At first, when you transition to this lifestyle, there might be a little bit more resistance because you're getting used to everything. And so is your family, right? Your family's like, oh, like, what is this new thing?
Right.
So what you're saying is it's a combination of, well, time, right? But also with preparation and including flexibility into your eating, and that's
Right.
what
Yeah.
makes it work, right? Amazing, amazing.
Very much so. And the fact that the way that you guys support everyone through those kinds of things, where, don't be that hard on yourself. If something happens, we're all human. 100% is great, but 90% is still an A.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I always say that, like it's almost unreal for people to expect you have to be perfect. And I'm always
Right.
open about it too. I'm not perfect either, but I try to, plan my meals. It's all whole foods plant-based. And then, like there's gonna be times that it's not gonna be perfect. And it's okay because
Mhm.
I don't think in our times and days, it's realistic. And unless we live in jungle, then all we have is probably fruits.
Right.
But
Right.
I think it's just unrealistic to expect yourself to be perfect. So I love that you allowing yourself to have that flexibility also, minimizes the guilt that you're feeling,
Right. By far.
right? Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's amazing to see that, you mentioned that your family has a line of diabetes as well, and you're able to break the chain almost. So
Right.
I
That
love
was
that.
a big factor of importance of why I reached out to you, and why I decided
hmm
to go ahead and do the program and s- see what happened.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you reached out and we're on this journey. So I love that. And would you mind sharing a little bit of what the results are you've been seeing? What are some feelings that
Yeah.
you've been feeling, or how can you tell like your body is responding to this?
So I don't measure my blood sugar, which
Mm-hmm.
since I'm not diabetic and I'm very
Mm-hmm.
afraid of needles, so I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as just in general feeling better, uh, about a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with celiac. My body was just tumultuant. My stomach was upset. They had me on pills that I had to take daily in the morning for heartburn and all kinds of things going on in my stomach. And I was trying things that didn't work. So although this wasn't the intended, you know, result of this, I no longer have to take medication for heartburn, which is great.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
Digestive issues have settled. which obviously I have to avoid gluten anyway, but that's just part of my life now. Um, uh, Skin has cleared up during the program. I've lost a significant amount of weight without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that I don't have blood sugar drops during the day where my hands will shake. And if
Mm-hmm.
on the off chance that it ever happens, I now know how to handle it,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah,
is a
I
big
love
deal.
that. Yeah, yeah, that is huge. And that's amazing. And that reminds me, I know that heartburn is, not something that we focus on. Obviously, in this program, we
Right.
focus on insulin resistance, right? Diabetes. But what's interesting is that, I just wanted to mention this, super random, but there's research that shows, the root cause of heartburn is actually the lack of fiber. So I think, just because you're
Really?
eating a lot of, you're eating a lot of plants, like it probably helps with heartburn. And it's funny because I've had clients before where they used to have heartburn. They can't eat anything with like tomato sauce. But now, when they're on a whole foods plant-based diet, they can, because, the root cause was never the acidic foods, right? The root
Right.
cause was actually the lack of fiber. So that's what's actually interesting. So it's amazing that you not only see that, your blood sugar is more stable, you're able to lose weight, your skin is clearer, but also other symptoms is better as well. So I'm super proud of you. I'm really glad to see that. That's amazing.
It's been an amazing experience. I mean, the reason that I started it was because of the insulin resistance and the changes that I've felt in my body and experienced along the way. Um, I never expected, so I'm grateful and I'm very happy about that. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And what's great is that, for everyone that don't really know us, but every time I get on a call with Bayleigh, she just looks better and better. She just looks more radiant every time. I'm serious. Like every time I talk to her, and I literally see the changes in you. So I am so proud of you. I'm glad that, you're doing really great. Okay, one last question. What would you say to someone are who is on the fence of reversing diabetes or reversing insulin resistance? Someone who's on the fence of taking the leap, what would you say to them?
I would I would say that this system, these people are here to support you, and it's a support system unlike any other program that I've ever encountered. And if that's something that you really decide you want to do with your life for yourself, then there's no better time and no better people to go through it with. So that's what I would say. It makes me get a little teary, but I mean it.
Mm, that makes me a little bit teary too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. um, Thank you so much. Thank you so much for just allowing us to be in your life. And I think, honestly, I feel like that's what means most to us, is being able to see that, we have the connection, we are able to support each other, and you to us too.
Yeah.
Sometimes with designer work, it's not like rainbows and butterflies all the time.
Right.
But I think just to be able to see your life changed, I think that means so much to us. And we love you so much, Bayleigh. So thank you so much for just sharing your life. Is there anything else that you want to add?
I don't think so.
I know, I caught you off guard. I know. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for getting on this interview with me, Bayleigh. I really just enjoyed listening to your story. I enjoyed just seeing you transform, seeing you just implement different things, in your life, and being able to see that you're breaking the cycle. And I think that's what's amazing. So thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching, if you want to learn more about how to reverse type 2 diabetes with exact steps of doing it, then you can check out my free training as well, a break down the science on how to do so. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.